Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the UEL Sports Stop in East London as we have the Premier Division semi-finals for you. First up we have the London Titans against the Mohawks for a place in the final. These were the first and fourth in the standings. Daniel Routledge delighted to be joined by Siobhan Fitzpatrick. Shiv, obviously you've got yourself into a final with the Loughborough Lightning tomorrow. These two teams will want to do likewise right now.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think either team here today, the top four teams are in the top four for a reason. I think it could go either way. These two teams haven't faced each other very long, very much in the league, and I hope today it's going to be a great performance from both teams.
It is a fascinating matchup, and as you say, there's not a great deal between the top four teams. These two teams played twice in the regular season, both winning one game, both winning at home. London were comfortable in the last meeting, but the first one was a 6-point game that the Mohawks just edged. So pretty much anything could happen right now this afternoon if they look to book themselves a place in the playoff final. Let's see what the coaches are thinking ahead of today's tip-off. Leslie caught up with them a little earlier.
This weekend is a culmination of a great season. How's your season gone?
It's been good. We've finally got ourselves back up on our feet as a club. We've had a few ups and downs, but yeah, we've come out at the top of the league, which is where we always wanted to be. Yeah, really, I'm excited.
And then obviously the playoffs are in London. You know, it's not far for you guys to travel. How does it feel to be here today?
It's massive. It's been like over 3 years since we got striked off in 2020. It's not, and it's so good to be in like hosting it in our own territory. And, you know, the team's ready. We've been training for this. Yeah, we're really looking forward to it.
All right, good, mate. Well, thank you very much.
All right, thanks.
Okay, Tyler. So, how's your season gone this season?
Season has been an interesting one, obviously off the back of COVID and lockdown. But we have done considerably well, considering we've had quite a few players that have had injuries. They've been out for surgeries, people getting ill, so a lot of our games we haven't had a full squad. But we made it to the playoffs, made it to the finals, to the championships, and yeah, it's good that we're here, and we're just going to turn up, show up, and have a good couple of days.
That's good. And then, what are your aims for this weekend?
Aim obviously to win. We've got a tough game coming up now, but we're going to put our foot down, play well as a team, and hopefully be in the final tomorrow.
That's great. Thank you very much, Tyler. I appreciate it.
Thank you, mate.
Dylan asking the questions there on our behalf, and this is the exciting thing, isn't it? You play all season for moments like this where it's all on the line and a chance of glory tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really important that both teams just enjoy this experience. I think it's been a funny old season for both teams, with people being out of injuries and getting used to playing together after a couple of seasons of not being able to be part of a league. And I'm just really excited to see both teams enjoy playing basketball and put on a good performance.
Well, that's the thing, and we've seen that with the people just wanting to be here this weekend and being part of the atmosphere once again, because we had a couple of years where the sport was taken away from us, and now they've got this opportunity. They've come back, and it's all about what you can do in the next 2 hours or so. Well, as they go through their final warm-ups, it's one of those things that actually sometimes the bigger the moment, the better players get. Some people love that spotlight, and I'm assuming we're going to see a bit of that here today.
Yeah, both teams have got a good wide range of experienced players. The likes of Titans have got Jack Perry, GB International, Beth Wheeler, number 13, who is a big impact in the women's game and showcases herself really well in this Premier team. Jude Hamer, 3 times Paralympian within that setup. Adi Adapt, and I can go on, that team's stacked with players. And Mohawks have a lot of junior players coming through that are just showing the established players who's boss, really.
Well, that is the interesting thing, is that you do get players playing in the Women's Premier League coming in and playing. So you've got two players who've already played today. I mean, they should be. Jude Hayman should be in great rhythm when she gets on court. How well she scored in your game.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jude's had a bit of a tough season. She's been one of them players that's had injuries and had some surgery, and her comeback's been absolutely phenomenal. She's given 110% to make sure that she's been here this weekend to contribute to the teams that she is part of. She may play a slightly different role for Titans that she does play for the Loughborough Lightning, but whatever her role is, she will make sure that she'll give whatever she can to get that W.
Well, the coach is having their final few words with the players ahead of tip-off, which is just a few seconds away now, and a place in the final tomorrow up for grabs between these two teams. And I'm sure, looking around, there will be a decent atmosphere as well. People, it's a long weekend of wheelchair basketball. There's so many games going on. It's not just here on the main court. There are games going on elsewhere, with the lower division teams trying to fight their way into their respective playoff finals. There's a lot to keep on top of.
Yeah, and I think that's the beauty of this weekend, is that I was that player that was in Division 3 that was looking up to the likes of your Paralympians and your Premier players, and the fact that we can bring the best teams from the whole of the country together on a weekend like this, it's fantastic to grow wheelchair basketball.
And of course we've got the junior final later on as well, to see the next generation of wheelchair basketball players who are coming through. But right now it is about the Premier Division and about making it through to the final. And the 2 5s are out. The officials are just about ready, and we can get things underway here at the Sports Dock at the University of East London. Mohawks will get the opening possession of the game. Nice pass inside and in off the glass. Always good to score on the first play of the game. Perry bringing it forward. Well, they backed away from him, almost baiting him into shooting, and he's going to knock that down. Harvey under pressure, gets the ball away. It's through the hands of Harvey and stolen away by the Titans.
Yeah, great pressure there on defense from Titans.
And a 3-on-1 fast break. There's only one outcome to that, and that is 2 more points for the Titans. Saunders on the end of it. Here's Harvey again, working around the pick. This little roll to the basket, but the ball is lost, and Saunders almost had it away and turned over again. Neither team can hang on to it.
I think here both teams are just calming down the nerves, getting used to the noise of the crowd, getting used to the feel of the court, and hopefully both teams will get that out in the next couple of minutes.
Well, there was just a little coming together there as the two teams were looking to get down court. Referee calling a foul on Liam Fawcett. Again, that little short corner shot for Perry is good.
Yeah, he's not missing those.
Harvey there saw his teammate down, so headed in that general direction to get the game stopped, to allow Cobbett to get back on the wheels. It's a good pressure from the Titans, not really letting them get anywhere near the three-point line, let alone the basket here. Shot clock ticking down. And plenty of time and space at the top there for Ryan to score. It's a good challenge of the shot and it falls short. They're still going at it though, the Titans, and eventually Wilson puts it in.
Yeah, great team basketball here from London Titans.
We've got out to an 8-4 start here in the first 3 minutes. Force it at the elbow, leaves it short, and well, I don't know if it was blocked, but either way it's a shot clock violation. They've looked aggressive at the defensive end, the Titans, so far.
Absolutely, they're a team that are really putting a stamp and a mark on that they can both be strong defensively and offensively. I think Mohawks need to get into a power game in a two-man game and work from there.
Seeley leaves that short, and it's all the way out of bounds.
And I also think that's the difference between the two teams, is that London Titans have a number of shooters and a number of threats. Mohawks seem to be relying on 2 or 3 of their 5, so it's easier for Titans to defend that.
Well, here's one guy who certainly knows where the basket is, although that occasion the ball falls short. Perry's had a lot of room along the baseline, and as he's 3 for 3, they might want to get out to him a little.
It's definitely not a player that I would personally want to leave open. If it takes 2 to stop him, fine. Try and make someone else shoot the ball. When you've got a player that's as experienced as Jack Perry, he's had a fantastic season. I think he's also, I believe, the top scorer for the Premier Division. Yeah, as a coach, I would definitely be shouting at the team to get out on him and stop him from scoring, or at least make his shots slightly harder than they are at the moment.
Yeah, that's the thing. At the minute, he's had 3 very good looks for 6 points. Again, the shot clock getting low on the Mohawks. This is going to have to go up from 3-point range, and again, it's going to be a 24-second violation. They've had difficulty just getting shots off here, Mohawks, in the first few minutes. It's they've only had 4 shots. Titans at the other end have had 9.
Titans have definitely done their homework about how Mohawks play. It's just now whether Mohawks can adjust to their usual offense to get the shots that they need.
Wheeler at the top of the key doesn't quite roll in for him. Once again, Filson making a nuisance on the offensive glass, but Mohawks come away with it. Harvey setting the pick. Fawcett throws it inside, and there's a foul called. Seeley, the offender. Harvey cross court with the shot off the back iron. Wheeler trying to get out in transition for the Titans. Still going, nice pass, but no finish from Saunders.
It's a great offense there by Titans, though. Definitely don't need to change too much. The finish will come in time.
Well, that was a super ambitious pass. 3/4 of the court to somebody who's double teamed. Saunders driving the lane, dishes off to Wheeler. Well, they were a little closer to him on that occasion, but at the expense of a foul.
Yeah, and like you said, at least they gave him a harder opportunity to shoot the ball. It's not shots though. I think the foul was called before the ball was released from Perry's hands.
Room at the top of the key for Seeley. He's good for 2. Harvey once again directing traffic. That shot is too long, falls straight into the hands of Wheeler. Perry going the opposite way to the pick and into that spot once again. So once he's off the mark.
He just seems to be able to do what he wants at the moment. I think they need to readjust their defensive.
Here's Saunders' little shovel pass on. That's off the iron. No chance for a break for the Mohawks. Good hands from Perry to deflect that away. And that is going to be an 8-second violation, I would have thought. It says 16 on the clock. It's not one that has tenths of a second. So I think that should be an 8-second violation. There's a timeout call.
Yeah, great timeout call there by Mohawks. I think a smart decision to try and stop Titans' momentum. They've had pretty much what they want on offense. They've missed a couple of shots, but they've been able to get the looks they want, and their defensive pressure into a semi-press, into a high line is being taken Mohawks out of their offensive shape.
It'll be interesting to see what the referee's doing, because they've obviously got a minute to think about it. And I know it sounds obvious. 24 minus 8 is 16, therefore it must be an 8-second violation. But on some shot clocks, the ones where you see the tenths, you have to actually see 15 on the shot clock, because that means it's 15.9.
Which,
if you like,
as a player, when you want that 8-second recognition, is the most frustrating thing ever.
Yeah. But this one doesn't do tenths. This one does whole numbers, I'm sure. I don't remember.
No,
it's
whole numbers, I think. But it just depends on if they're sticking to the international tenths shot clocks, or if they're running off these ones. I'm not sure.
It looks like the Mohawks are going to get the ball. They better throw it straight into the front court. That's all I'm saying.
I think Mohawks have been lucky with that decision
I think they have as well. There's Harvey. Did that shot get off in time? Yes, it did. Well, they used all of the 8 seconds and all of the 24 seconds, but they came up with nothing. Foul called. Oh, nice pass, but I'm not sure where the defense was. Perry should have done better there.
Yeah, I think he maybe potentially thought he might get a 3-second violation, but I definitely think he'd take an extra second and shoot that ball properly.
Fawcett driving to the basket, takes the foul, and he will shoot 2.
Yeah, and he'll be frustrated that he didn't get an and one with that's for sure. Hopefully now he'll make at least one of these and allow that shooting void to come to an end.
The Titans have scored 6 without reply. And he does get the scoreboard ticking. Just 5, potentially 6 points in 7.5 minutes. But if this goes in, they're only down 6, could be worse.
Yeah, and hopefully now if Mohawks can get a couple of defensive stops and not give Jack Perry the looks. Get some offensive momentum.
Well, a hand in his face that time as the shot comes off the ring. Harvey brings it forward. Fawcett. Inside to Harvey. Nice extra pass. And good positioning for the basket.
Yeah, that's great offense there from Mohawks. Really smart from Harvey to make that extra pass to Fawcett there.
Perry looking for room along the baseline. Passes it across to the other block. That one bobbles out. Pressure down court here. They need to get it over, and they do, just. Again, there was probably only half a second to spare on that one. Shot clock getting low. Long three off the mark. Wheeler just able to reach that one with two Mohawks either side.
Yeah, great rebound there by Wheeler.
And that's going to be an offensive foul called against Perry.
I think that's unfortunate when those gets called. I've had them called against me as well, and you forget to stop your chair when you're looking for the pass.
Well, they've got a little bit of the momentum back here, Mohawks. Off the iron from
it's a good offense there from Mohawks, though. I definitely think that three with both Fawcett's and Harvey is could be dangerous as the game goes on.
Saunders trying to sneak his way along the baseline. Pass is not quite in Gregan's hands. He's running out of shot clock here. Gets it to Perry. Wheeler trying to steal that back for the Titans, but Mohawks come away with it. Shot clock is off. And they just run out of time there. It's good pressure defense from the Titans. We're at the end of the first quarter, and relatively low scoring, just 20 points between them. You feel like the Titans have had the better of that 10 minutes, but they don't really have much to show for it on the scoreboard.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. I hope now that Lou Sugden and Matt Seeley both coaching the game will just tell them to just take an extra second, an extra breath. They're getting the looks that they want, and they just seem a little bit flustered when they get inside the key to make that finish. They're a team that I know that with very experienced players, they'll be okay with that, and they'll bring that on. And Mohawks have to take it to their advantage and create the finishes and stop the momentum where they can.
Well, the challenge that the Mohawks have had in that first quarter initially was just getting some shots, because the defense has been very aggressive, very high up the court. They've had difficulty getting anything into a half-court set, and that's probably the real difference between the two teams in that first quarter.
Yeah, I think Mohawks are relying on their two bigs in Iron and Fawcett a lot, and Titans are just going, okay, then we'll just stop them two and try and get something else. But the passes make it harder to get inside the key to those lows. For me, both teams just need to find an offense and stick to it and run it a couple of times and adjust off that.
Well, the shooting numbers are nothing to really write home about. Certainly nothing like the numbers that your team put up in the previous game. But
I'm glad, if you're having a poor shooting game, it's the best to get it out in the first quarter and get it done now. And hopefully they've got used to the crowd. There's a lot of noise, there's a lot of spectators, there's a lot of background noise. And I'm hoping now we started slow in our game as well. Get that out of the way with and make it a good game from now.
What, the first 30 seconds of the game was it? It started slow. You look pretty comfortable out there from up here. To be fair, it wasn't really until the second quarter that you pulled away on the scoreboard. So. Back underway here in this first semi-final. Again, it's almost like they want him to shoot.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused why they're not jumping, because they have the ability to send Liam Fawcett, who's big, to at least put pressure on it and force someone else to shoot. They make it great, but your main shooter of the season and for their team, you don't want to be shooting open shots like that at all. And great defense pressure here by Titans.
Again, you see how difficult it was to get into the key. If you can break through that line, there might be opportunities, but that is easier said than done. Defensively, though, takes a lot of effort to maintain that line and allow no gaps.
Absolutely, and it all comes down to communication. One player isn't on the same page as you, and that's it. There's a breakaway, and that looks like what happened there with Harvey managed to get into the key.
This time they do throw some hands at Perry. Fawcett inside to Ryan, nice pass. Harvey cut to the basket, takes the foul, he'll shoot 2.
Yeah, Harvey's definitely an up-and-coming player within the GB setup, within the academy, and a player that's got a bright future ahead of him. So much speed. I've only played with him in training a couple of times, and he's just so quick. I'm excited to see how he progresses in this game, and a great opportunity to be able to play in the Premier Division at such a young age and gain that experience on people that have done it many times.
Well, it is the interesting thing about the sport in that people can play to a ripe old age, to be fair. So you do get quite a gap in some of the age matchups out there, if I can put it delicately.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice pass inside, although did Wheeler get caught from behind? Yeah. He forced it, has his hands up as if to say he wasn't convinced about that. But
no, from my eye, I think that's a hold on Wheeler. She wouldn't have gone in and pushed sideways on purpose, I don't think. But nice try from Lee to try and get away with it. And we all do it. We all try and question the refs, which is...
Well, part of his logic there is the foul situation. He's had to come out of the game because of that foul. Being his 3rd. Titans steal that back, or do they? Yes, they do. Wheeler able to regain possession. Wheeler top of the key, off the mark. Unable to secure the ball. Here comes Harvey for the Mohawks. It's good positioning. That's the thing. If you can beat the other team down court, you can get yourself in a great spot like that.
Absolutely. I think the two-man game between Harvey and Leon Fawcett is something that could become dangerous within the game, and something that they probably should be utilising a little bit more. But with Titans' press, it's going to be difficult.
Nice pass. No points at the end of it. Didn't hit the ring, so they've got to go up here. And Wheeler doesn't hit the ring on that either, all net.
Yeah, Wheeler is definitely one of them players that I've played with and played against. And if you give her the ball in a catch and shoot situation where she hasn't got to move, 9 times out of 10 that ball's going straight into the basket.
Perry knocks it loose. Can he keep it in play? Yes, he can. And gets himself an assist as well with the pass back to Gregan.
Yeah, and that will definitely help Gregan. Now he's had a shot, he's felt well it is to go in the basket, and hopefully he'll be able to get going now, take some pressure off Perry offensively.
Rebound pulled in by Perry. Forward it goes to Seeley. Perry spinning along the baseline. Shot clock getting low. Trying to line that one up. Tough shot with a hand in your face.
Yeah, and I think Mohawks have definitely adjusted their defence now, hopefully, to make some of Perry's shots a little bit harder. And Harvey there showcasing his rapid speed down the court.
And the question now is, can they adjust their offense to try and find a few more points on the board? 11 points in 14 minutes isn't really enough if they're going to want to get to the final. Saunders driving towards the basket. Players either side of him. And I think it was What's it from? Iron from behind who commits the foul.
Yeah, he's shaking his head at disbelief. I don't think he made body contact. I think it was a chair foul as he leant forward. Good pressure though. A much better defensive performance here by Mohawks.
And the shooting numbers haven't gone up in the second quarter. And that's part of the reason why there's only 30 points on the board after 14 minutes, but 19 of them for the London Titans, who lead by 8. Again, they can't get inside the three-point line here. Forsyth's going to have to heave the three, and why not? It's good.
Absolutely, and that might be there again, the momentum shift that the Mohawks need. For me, they need to try and get a player to maybe leave slightly earlier from the defence to help break that line down, because Titans' pressure's been phenomenal. But great finish there by Liam.
Pass a little bit too high there for Wheeler to grab. To reach up high to pull that one in. Nice pass, but no score at the end of it.
That's really unfortunate. It's a great offense. They could have really done with that basket again to keep the momentum going in their favour.
Well, when points are hard to come by, those are the ones
they need.
Seeley, top of the key. Foul called on Ryan. That's going to be his second.
Yeah, he definitely came out with some force. We're sitting a bit far away from the court, and I heard that bang, so I'm glad that there was a foul called there on Perry.
Good ball movement. Just got a little underneath the basket there, Gregan. Thrown out quick. No, it's going to be a foul. I was about to say he's done well there to chase down, and because it's last man on a break, that's going to be an unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, and with the grab of the wheel as well. It's unfortunate. I think he did it. It was a smart foul, but like you said, behind play is always going to be unsportsman. Hopefully Harvey here can knock it down.
First one off the mark. Oh, he's missed them both. They do get sideline possession though.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. Both shots there looked online and looked good. Just a little bit flat and couldn't get the drop.
Nice cut to the basket. Again, they can't get the points that the play deserved.
Yeah, and Titans are being smart with their defence. They can see that he's not particularly a strong offensive threat.
I think that might be the third foul there on Ryan, as Wheeler went to the basket.
Yeah, and that's really unfortunate. That's going to cost them if they're going to have to make a substitution for him to keep him in the game for later on.
He just needs to be careful here because he's clearly frustrated with things. If he's trunching to the bench rather than...
Yeah, I think he's frustrated with this team that he's having to foul as opposed to the referees.
He's still in long discussion. Well, Titans with the offensive rebound off the free throw miss. Saunders late in the shot clock here. Well, that was nice play. They just needed 15 seconds rather than 14 on the offensive rebound.
A little bit more shot clock recognition, which is hard when you're away from your bench. You can't necessarily hear the shot clock being called.
Well, that's going to be the 4th foul there on Iron. I must admit, it was away from the ball, so I didn't quite see what he did. But
yeah, he's just talking to the referee now and questioning his chair positioning. He's thinking he was right, but when you've got a 4-5 going against a 2-pointer, the foul's always going to go against you, unfortunately.
Well, they didn't take him out on 3. Surely they've got to take him out on 4. Well, that is a massive, massive blow to the Mohawks' chances here.
Yeah, absolutely, and I don't think he's going to be able to come back in now until the 4th.
Well, I suppose some of that might be scoreboard related. It's one thing to sit him down, protect him for later in the game if you're down 5, but if the Titans start to get away, what are you protecting him for? You might as well bring him back. It's whether he fouls out or not, if he's on the bench, he can't help you. But we'll see how that plays out. I don't think, like you, I don't think he'll start the second half though on 4 fouls.
No, it's unfortunate. But the Titans struggling to finish. It might not make too much of an impact this side of the half.
Well, Titans are 1 of 5 from the free throw line. They're shooting just 33% from the floor, and yet they still lead by 5. Which tells you a little bit about how well they're playing defensively. Good offensive rebound. Still can't get any points though. Fawcett looking for options, working with Harvey. And that's thrown away straight to Wheeler. Hamer checks into the game for the first time.
Yeah, hopefully her offensive performance this morning in the game will help Titans now get a few more baskets on the board.
Well, as you say, she was very efficient in the Women's Premier League semi-final. Can they get some similar looks here to get their offense going? Shot clock getting low. Saunders fires up long. That didn't hit the ring, but it doesn't matter because Perry's on hand to put it back.
That's exactly how they drew it up.
Well, it stretches the lead to 7. Well, he never quite could get his hands on that Whitwell.
Yeah, this highline press from Titans is absolutely phenomenal, taking Mohawks and potentially any team they're going to play against out of their structure.
And that's what you can get from that. When your offense is struggling a bit, your defense can sometimes feed it. Suddenly a fast break layup and you look up at the scoreboard and it's 23-14, and 9 points in some games doesn't seem a lot. In this one it does, when the other teams only scored 14 in 18 minutes.
Yeah, I'm a massive believer that the score takes care of itself. I think if you can get transfix on, we haven't scored in a while, focus on getting a stop and stopping them from scoring, and that confidence will allow you to be more relaxed and those shots will start dropping.
Well, you definitely get the sense that this is a big 2.5 minutes here for the Mohawks. Down 9, one of their main scoring threats on the bench in foul trouble. 2 of their starters on the bench in foul trouble. They've got to find some way of getting things going in the right direction going into half time.
Yeah, for me, they need to find a way of getting Liam Fawcett going. He's had a fantastic season for them. He's a player that when I play against him, he usually gets going, but I just think Titans have done their homework and they're pushing him out of usual positions. So it's whether they can get a one pick and get him onto that baseline.
Well, the three-point shot from Fawcett is off the mark. And again, in the transition, that's the problem with not scoring, is it does give the other team a chance to attack you before you can set your defense up. And a chance now for the Titans to stretch their lead into double figures as Mitten checks into the game.
Great finish there by Saunders.
Well, they were 1 of 6 from the free throw line before that. Those were 2 of the cleanest free throws you'll see. Whoops, they left the ball for a second there. Nice pass, great work from Harvey.
Yeah, he's a player that if you don't stop his chair, he moves that quick that you can often turn the wrong way, and he's round you for that pass. Great job there by Mohawks.
And Wheeler quickly right back at them. Harvey back up to Fawcett. Shot clock down to 5. It's going to have to go up here from long range. And it's the 3rd time, is it? I think they've had a shot clock violation in this half.
Yeah, absolutely. And Titans didn't really have to defend there. There was all 4 of the key Mohawks players just sitting next to each other. Definitely need to come with a little bit more speed and space and try and disrupt the Titans defense as much as possible.
Well, late whistle, but it's going to be a foul on the shot.
And when he shot the last 2 as clean as he did, hopefully this is what Titans needs to keep moving forward on the scoreboard.
Well, that one was a fair way short. That one wiped his feet. Well, after 2 of the cleanest. Not so.
As I always say, they all count.
They all
However
count.
The ball drops through that net, I'm taking it.
They don't draw pictures in the scorebook. They're all worth the same. It's a 12-point lead here now for the Titans. Mohawks need to get this offense going. That's a decent look, but not converted by Russell. Cross court to Wheeler, sees a little room, kicks it back out to the free throw line, and just starting to heat up a little bit here now, Saunders.
Yeah, great offense there by Titans.
And turned over. They should have had the last shot there, and now in danger of converting the other way. Saunders with the score and 1. Going to have to heave that from 3/4 court. Wasn't a million miles away there at the end of the first half, but London Titans squeezing the life out of the Mohawks in the first half, keeping them to 8 points in each of the first 2 quarters.
Yeah, I think Titans are going to be happy with that second quarter. They're definitely winning the game with their defense, their stops. They're pushing Mohawks out of their normal offensive plan and setup. For me now, Titans need to take that extra breath on offense. They're getting all the looks that they want. For Mohawks, they've got to just try and break that press with a little bit of speed. They're all kind of condensing and panicking together. One simple cross, and I think they've got the looks that they want.
The interesting thing is that we said at the end of the first quarter it felt like Titans were on top, but the scoreboard didn't show it. Not much changed in the second quarter other than the scoreboard is now reflecting the way they played.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think, like I said earlier, I think Titans' defence, taking Mohawks out of their routine, is what's allowing their offence to get slightly easier looks, and their free throw percentage is slowly starting to pick up as well.
So the interesting thing is, looking at the numbers, is Titans haven't actually shot the ball that well. They can shoot the ball better than this, and that would be the worrying thing for the Mohawks. And obviously they have to make a decision about what they do with Iron on 4 fouls and Lee Fawcett on 3 fouls. When do they reintroduce them into the game?
Yeah, and I think that's a difficult decision to make as a coach. Do you bring them in because of the scoreline and risk them fouling out, or do you keep them a little bit and allow the scoreline to get a little bit too big that they've got too much work to do? I would definitely try and keep at least one of them on the floor rather than both of them on the bench. But like you said, it's going to be difficult when your 2 key players are in foul trouble. It's just whether one of their other players on the bench will start stepping up and taking some fouls and putting their hand up instead to help them out.
Well, those are the decisions that the coaches will be making at half-time, and we have a little interview for you now.
Okay, so first of all, Phil, how's the season gone?
Fantastic, we've done really well, finishing the top 4 with a relatively young squad. So overall, I'm very pleased with the progression of the club today.
That's good. And then Josh, what are your aims for this weekend?
Hopefully be the best team here and win all of it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Two teams getting ready to head back out onto court for the second half of this semi-final. It was noticeable at halftime. The Mohawks spent a long time in a big team huddle trying to fire themselves up, trying to get themselves in the right space to come back in this game.
Yeah, and I don't think they're millions of miles away of what they're doing. It's just the last finish of that extra pass or that extra height on the shot or extra cross down the court. And credit to Titans, they're taking them out of that structure with that high line press. I think any team would struggle against to break down that press at the moment. And for me, it's don't get frustrated with each other and try and stick to an offense that's going to work.
Well, we wondered whether Iron would be saved for later in the game. Looks like he might be starting.
Yeah, and I think it's that fine line, like we were saying, you don't know what is the right thing to do, and keep in mind if he fouls out, but at least give him that opportunity to try and bring this scoreline back for Mohawks.
Yeah. Well, both the players who were in foul trouble are out at the start of the third quarter.
Yeah, I definitely think Titans can use that to their advantage as well and drive on those players, because they're either going to foul or not, because they don't want to get fouled out of the game.
Well, Fawcett, who was one of them in foul trouble, got himself in an awkward spot there. Yeah, I'm of the belief you're down 14. If you're going to get back in the game, you're going to need your best five out there, down 16 now. You can save them until the fourth quarter, but if you're down 25...
Yeah, it's too much work for the two bigs to do. But again, I still think they need to play physical and hard and not necessarily worry about the fouls being called.
Nice finish.
Yeah, fabulous. They've definitely had that half-time talk so far seems to be worked and utilised correctly.
Well, that's a bit more like the early stages of the first half there, with Perry getting a wide open shot. He didn't make it that time.
Yeah, and for me, if you don't want Fawcett and Iron to get into foul trouble, send your lows out and pressure Perry, at least get him out of his usual position.
Fawcett, Liam Fawcett couldn't finish there. Nice pass into Saunders, is a little strong off the glass. Harvey whips that one away, but stolen right back by Perry. Lob towards Saunders. Titans bench wanting a foul there, referee not interested.
Yeah, and I think that could have gone either way, to be fair. If the referee wasn't looking at the chair contact and was looking at where the ball was going to go, it's a hard call. And when the scoreline's in their favour as well.
Harvey sizing up the 17-foot shot. Well, that's too easy in transition, really.
It could have been questionably been a foul there from Fawcett.
Here is that line again. They've had great difficulty getting through. Shot clock down to 5. Just away in time. And they get some second chance points as Harvey gets the offensive rebound.
Yeah, great job there by Harvey to keep playing to the end of the shot clock and get that rebound. But Titans, the high line's been absolutely phenomenal. And Mohawks are pretty much every time now are shooting with half a second left on the shot clock.
Nice little shovel pass from Saunders to Perry for 2.
Yeah, and unfortunately Fawcett's having to be smart and can't even really risk putting his arm up to contest that shot.
Fawcett to Fawcett for the shot, but nothing doing for the Mohawks. Nice pass again. Seeley's just a little underneath the basket there. That shot was more difficult than he'd have liked. Forward it goes to Harvey. Well, that pass was very early. Ryan hadn't really got himself set to be thinking about catching that. Batted away by Harvey. Can he beat the ball to the end line? He's got the speed. He beats it with ease, actually.
Honestly, that boy and his speed, and he's only really at the beginning of his career. It's a scary thought to see what he's going to be like in the next 2, 3, 5 years of his career.
Well, it's one of them, when the ball goes, you think, well, that's going to be close as to whether he can catch that. And
He made it look easy, didn't he?
he did, yeah. And it gets 2 points for his team, cuts the gap to 14. A lot of time and space for Wheeler to line one up.
Yeah, it's a great look there by Wheeler, just didn't get the drop.
Harvey has all the room in the world and he banks it in.
Yeah, and as soon as Mohawks can break down that high line and get into their two-man offence, they look a lot stronger. It's just whether they can continually do that now for the next few offences to get this scoreline closer.
Well, they get a stop. Can they get it back down to 10 now? And pass deflected by Perry and picked up by Saunders. To Seeley. Again, excellent in transition.
Yeah, and that's the difference between Mohawks and Titans right now. They have all of their players looking to contribute offensively.
Wheeler got a hand on that, but it still found its way to Fawcett. Poked away, but only as far as Harvey. Needs to go up here. Ryan with the shot. Perry gets in. You could see not a lot Iron could do on 4 fouls there.
No, and Perry will be straighted there, not being able to get the finish off those 2 baskets.
Well, it's 3-on-3 here. Of course, it is fouled and he'll go to the line for 2.
Smart foul there by Manny Filson to send Fawcett to the line and allow them to get into their defensive position.
Well, Coach Lewis Hudson will call a timeout for the Titans. Still leading this one 38 points to 34. I suppose from the Mohawks' point of view, they've got 8 points in this quarter, which is all they managed in the first 2. So with 3 minutes to go, you'd expect they'd at least get into double figures for this quarter. But the problem is they're just going score for score at the minute, and they have to get some sort of run if they're to get back in this game.
Yeah, for me, Mohawks do the last couple of minutes look like the stronger side. Unfortunately, they've had a couple of turnovers. but hopefully, like you said, they can get a couple of makes now and go into the fourth with a little bit more confidence that they can get this to a single-figure game.
The challenge is they've got to outscore them by 15 in the next 13 minutes, which normally doesn't sound too difficult, but bear in mind they only scored 16 in the first half.
Yeah, and I think with Titans' defensive pressure as well, they haven't got the opportunity to get those quick points. They're using a lot of their shot clock time as opposed to being able to shoot with maybe in the first 5 or 6 seconds to get more shot opportunities. So credit to Titans there with the high line defense.
Yeah, it's one of those where if this was 68-54, you'd say, well, 15 is more than doable, but at 38-24, it's more of a challenge. Well, it's 12 now. Can they get into single figures and just put some mental pressure on the Titans, who've resisted everything since they got on top of the game? It's a good catch and finish from Filson. Again, this high line trapping them right at the halfway line. That's a real awkward spot to pick it up, and Perry knocks it loose, and he has Saunders with him, and he finds Saunders. Oh, but he just came a little straight at that.
Yeah, I wonder if Saunders there thought that he was being pressured a little bit closer.
Saunders, though, with the steal.
Yeah, he redeems himself there with that steal.
Can he get the points this time? He's got a lot of time to line this one up, and he does finish.
Yeah, and that extends the lead even further.
But again, those are the sort of cheap points, if you like, that Mohawks haven't had anything like that during the game.
No, unfortunately, the Titans' defensive pressure has been a little bit too much for Mohawks today and taken them out their usual offensive stride, and only been able to put up most shots with 1-2 seconds left on the shot clock. For any team, that's going to be difficult, and a lot of pressure on their key players to make sure they finish. They have to be shooting at a high percentage, and unfortunately, they haven't been this afternoon.
Yeah, they've got 19 points off turnovers, the Titans, which in a 16-point game, bearing in mind the Mohawks have 2, pretty much tells you.
Yeah, that's not a stat that you want to be proud of, that's for sure.
Third foul called against Harvey. Well, they were all pressuring down court, and they forgot to pick up Wheeler, who goes it alone for 2.
I was going to say, that's definitely not a player that you want to be able to leave and roam free. She's had a phenomenal impact with Titans this season.
Again, another hand in the passing lane. Perry deflecting it loose. And more points off turnovers. Perry's had 6 steals in the game.
And unfortunately, for any team that's allowing easy points like that, it's going to be hard to get back into it at this stage of the game.
I think Harvey went over the line there on the inbound. So Titans will get the ball back from the end line. And a moment or two ago we were saying, could they get it back into single figures, and now it's 20. Shot clock getting low here. Sealy at the free throw line, beats the buzzer. Offensive rebound from Gregan is good for 2. Force it to force it. Onto Harvey. Iron rolling to the basket, too strong. Wheeler kicks it out. Seeley fakes the shot, makes the pass, and Gregan with the two.
Yeah, great offense patience there by Seeley to wait that extra half a second and allow that roll to basket.
Well, it was 8 points apiece in that quarter at one stage, and it finished 20-10. So a 12-2 run to end the quarter by the Titans as they tighten their grip on this semi-final.
Yeah, and for me now, I think we can probably, I don't want to jinx it, but Titans, offensively, they're finding their stride, they're finding their thing. For me now, Mohawks need to just play as their team and focus on how they can get better for tomorrow's game, and not necessarily worry about finishing this game now. Focus on what they've been doing well, and finding a way of breaking in London's high line down.
Well, that certainly has been the difference in the game, that high line of the London Titans, because not only has it totally discombobulated the Mohawks offense, the amount of shot clock violation, late shot clock attempts that they had, but it also allowed some transition points. They've got 23 points off turnovers, they've got 14 points in fast break. So even though the Titans weren't shooting the ball particularly well in the half court, they've got cheap and easy points to keep the scoreboard ticking.
Absolutely, they're definitely a team that I've played against many a time. I was fortunate to also play alongside them a few seasons ago, and transition's definitely their game. If you play against them, you want to force them into a half court game, but their ability to be able to read and steal the ball, and all 4 or 5 of their players can contribute, which is the difference between the Mohawks and Titans. They're all offensive threats.
Well, 20 turnovers for the Mohawks, 14 steals for the Titans. So you can see it is definitely them forcing the errors rather than unforced mistakes by the Mohawks. Fourth quarter about to get underway. Back to Seeley, top of the key, knocks it down.
Yeah, and you can see now Titans just sticking to that high line press and not coming away from that. And I think that's really important. You might see the scoreline, you might think, why are they not reverting back to a zone? But they've got to prepare for tomorrow's game, and they've got to be ready to go with their strongest defensive pressure that they can possibly have. So it's good to see that they're sticking to their game plan and taking Mohawks out of their offensive structure.
Well, they didn't even get within 25 feet of the basket there, Mohawks. And with the rebound. Trying to find some room in the key again, late shot clock.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think the difference here with Mohawks is they're looking to go a lot of one-on-one rather than playing as a unit and making that extra pick. A lot of ball pressure there, having to force into a late pass. But it's easy for me to say, not being in the game with the
Yeah.
with the Titans' defensive pressure.
Whelan's shot is a little short there. Yeah, it's dead easy to see what the challenges are from up here. It's not quite as easy to deal with them down there. Again, look how late in the shot clock they've got without getting inside the 3-point line. and it just wears you down. It's a grinding effect. It's like, wow, it's so hard just to get a shot off.
Absolutely, and when Mohawks have had the open shots, they haven't capitalised on them either, so their inside game isn't going well, their outside game isn't going well, so your confidence is automatically knocked.
Wheeler. Shot bounces to the iron, but they've almost turned it over again here, the Mohawks. Oh, there's going to be a jump ball. So the possession arrow. Now, interestingly, they reset the shot clock there, which they shouldn't do on a jump ball. The referees spotted that, I think.
Yeah, and I don't know why it was a jump ball either. Neither team seemed to be struggling with one person holding it for the whole time. But I think maybe they just want the momentum of the game to keep going.
Well, it briefly reset to 24. Not quite sure what they're going to put on. There's nothing on there at the moment. Well, they've given them 24. I'm not quite sure how that works, because I don't think the Titans ever gained possession of the ball. But to be honest with you, Mohawks need every second they can get in the half court. And able to convert over his own man there.
Yeah, great finish there by Iron. It's a shame he hasn't had a few more of them like this game. Foul called there against Mohawks.
Be an end-line ball for the Titans, leading by 20 with 7 minutes to go here in this first semi-final. We've got the second semi-final coming up. It's about 45 minutes from now, between the 2 and the 3 seeds, Steelers and CWB. CWBA, I missed that.
Yeah, and that went down to the wire last weekend as well. There was, I believe, a basket in it to decide the title finish. So a game that's going to be phenomenal later on, I hope.
Nice shot for 3 for Iron.
Well, I'm glad now that Mohawks may not be able to do enough to get to the win, but they've had a couple of baskets now to give them some confidence going into the game tomorrow.
He's had a lot of shots from that corner, Perry. Early on they were all going in. More recently, more of them are bobbled out like that.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. If you're going to miss, you want to miss by an absolute mile, not them little ones that bobble out and don't fall your way.
Good block there at the defensive end from him. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Shot clock buzzer.
Yeah, great finish there by Liam Fawcett. Couldn't have been a harder shot for him to hit, and it went his way.
Well, they've got it down to 15 with 6 minutes to go. Again, it's one of those weird things. If it was to get into single figures, how mentally the Titans react to that. Oh, that's an awkward logjam at the half court, and that's going to be an offensive foul. And that was one of them where the initial mistake, if you like, was turning back.
Yeah, absolutely. That's unfortunate there from Mohawks. It's easy for me to say sitting up here. You forget sometimes when you're in the moment of the game, you're just chasing the ball, you want to get that ball over, and you forget the obvious thing of stopping your chair and being in control.
Well, 5.5 minutes to go. Coach Sugden calling for a timeout. She will know that it's possible for a team to come back from 15 down with 5.5 minutes to go, even though to us watching from up here, it doesn't look probable given the way Titans have played defence.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it is possible when I've been in that game where we have been down and we've came out on top, but Mohawks' offensive finishing in the last couple of possessions has been great, but unfortunately it hasn't been there throughout the whole game. So they may surprise me, maybe able to get the win, but I think Titans' defensive pressure, I think, will enable them to come out on top. Because the couple of baskets that Mohawks have been pressured 3-point shots. Whether they can consistently do that for the next 5.5 minutes is questionable. I would love to see if they could, because fair play to the two of them if that's what they can do, but it's going to be hard for them to keep that up for 5 minutes.
Titans ball from the side. 5.5 minutes away from the final, leading by 15. And Perry knocks that one down. 18 points for him in the game. Perhaps not the most efficient 18 points he's ever scored, but important nonetheless. Substitutions both ways. Saunders returns for the Titans. Well back for the Mohawks. And there's 2 more points to the Mohawks tally. Coins first of the game. 5-second violation, or did he cross the line? I think he might have crossed the line. It's a call you don't see very often. We've seen it twice in this game.
No, I don't think I've personally ever seen it called in any of the games I've ever played. To have it called twice is interesting.
I saw it once at the end of a game in the running game of basketball, where a team was down 6, hit a 3, and somebody stepped in court to turn the ball over. It was 12 seconds to go when the first 3 went in.
And that's the stage of the game where you don't want that to happen.
Made 3 free throws and sent it to overtime. On a dumb play. That was about 30 years ago. I don't know where it popped up in my brain, but it's one of those things that
one of them,
sticks in.
Facts that stick with you for the rest of your career.
Nice hand from Gregan to knock that out of bounds.
This is a lot more promising here now for Mohawks. It's a shame it's taken them 4 quarters to find their offensive groove, but hopefully it will give them a little bit of confidence that they are in the top 4 teams in the country for a reason.
Well, the Mohawks fans still believing their team might have a chance here. They're going to have to get this shot up quick. It's away and it hits the iron, so the ball was live, but Wheeler under pressure is able to bring it away for the Titans.
Yeah, it's a great outlet pass there by Wheeler.
Knocked loose by Iron. Looking for some options. Finding Coyne. Again, late shot clock.
That's not a million miles away,
No,
is it?
it wasn't.
At all?
The problem is, if you take 24 seconds every time you come down court, these 3 minutes will disappear off pretty quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. That's where Titans' defensive pressure's been taking Mohawks out of their offensive stride. if they could get a couple of quick possessions in first 5, 6, 7 seconds of their offence and get some stops, it could be an exciting 3 minutes. But and I would love that to happen, but part of me just thinks the Titans defence throughout this whole game has been a little bit too strong for Mohawks today.
Well, that will be the challenge for whoever faces the Titans in the final tomorrow, assuming they do see this out, is can you score enough points? Because they haven't shot the ball ridiculously well. It's not one of those games where everything they put up has gone in. So, you know, offensively they haven't taken it away from the Mohawks, but they've certainly squeezed the life out of them defensively.
Yeah, and if I was either one of the Sheffield or Coventry team that have been watching from the sidelines of this game, it would definitely be how do you break their defence rather than talking about offence. I think the offensive will come, your defence then will come to stop Titans' offence. It's how can you break down their defence to get a good offence.
Well, the Mohawks still have 3 minutes to try and salvage something at the end here. 13 points behind. They've been behind by double figures for most of this contest.
Yeah, and there was a part of that game in the third where I thought it was going to be a complete blowout by Titans, so it's been impressive to see Mohawks get back into this game.
But again, they end up with a long 3. Nice pass from Perry, and Wheeler doesn't quite get the roll, but there's 3 Titans in there for the offensive rebound. And they've got it again in a new 14. And there's a good cut to the basket and finish from Gregan.
Yeah, and all Titans need to do now is keep chipping away with those. Don't have to force any quick baskets or anything special, just keep chipping away at the shot clock, scoreboard, sorry.
Well, they could probably just chip away at the shot clock now, to be honest with you. 3 or 4 shot clock violations might be enough to win the game for them. Not that anybody thinks like that, but, well, that's the alternative. Just go quickly and score.
Great pass there by Saunders into Wheeler.
Well, they've dropped back into the half court for once, the Titans. And Coyne didn't realise his team had the ball there, so they only had 4 on offence, but big number 20 able to get 2 more to his tally. 13 and 12 rebounds for Iron, and he's played most of the game in foul trouble. One final substitution here for the Mohawks as Ian Fawcett, the leading scorer, 17 points, 9 rebounds for him, goes off for the final time. Coyne getting all the way to the rim but unable to finish inside the final minute. Again, it just looks a little tired now, the Mohawks, in their transition defence.
Yeah, absolutely. If Titans' ability to be able to switch from a really hard defence into a quick transition has been really impressive this game.
Lining that one up almost like he was posing for the cameras there.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal finish.
Well, the Titans looking to just run the clock down here. 3-second violation is the call. It was Gregan. No, shot clock is off. Mohawks can have the final possession if they want. They might want one last score. Foul called on Saunders. They're not over the limit, so it's just a sideline ball. And it's going to launch a final three, which hits the bottom of the net. A punch of the air to celebrate that.
Yeah, fair play to him in that finish. He's made some big shots in this last quarter, and it's just a shame that both him and Fawcett couldn't get into the game in the first half.
And that will do it. The London Titans are going through to the final. They've beaten the Mohawks 60 points to 46. Really put the squeeze on in the first half and kept the Mohawks to just 18 first half points. They only had 26 through 3 quarters. Did a little better in the fourth with 20 points, but all about the Titans defense today.
Absolutely. Titans' ability to be able to start their high line pretty much on the halfway line consistently throughout the game is a credit to them and a credit to the hard work they've put in this season, and that's why they probably ended up winning the league in the end for the Premier Division and hoping to go the whole way tomorrow. But I'm just really impressed with Mohawks' ability to not let the game run away with them in the fourth quarter. They could have quite easily just put their heads down and thought, well, we've lost this game, but they fought and they tried, and the likes of Iron and Fawcett hitting those big threes and those really long range twos, fair play to them, and hopefully that's giving them some confidence going into tomorrow.
Well, Iron finished with 18 points and 12 rebounds, played 35 minutes despite picking that fourth foul up super early in the game, and Fawcett with 17 points and 9 rebounds. But the real key stat in this game was the 21 turnovers by the Mohawks that the Titans turned into 25 points. And
yeah, you're going to struggle to win any game with 21 turnovers. I think most of the time you want to be below 10, below 7, 8 or 7 turnovers. 21, to be able to score 46 points off that is a credit to Mohawks, but yeah, that's not something that they'll need to change for tomorrow if they want to take that third place position.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's a simple game really. If you take care of the basketball and you get the rebounds, you've got a better chance of winning. And the reality is that the Titans shot 12 more shots than the Mohawks did, and if you shoot more shots, even if you shoot the same percentage as the other team, you're gonna win the game. And there were so many times where shots like this, you got 2 hands in the face. Yes, he's knocked it down, but end of shot clock difficulties, and again it goes back to great defense from the London Titans.
Yeah, it didn't really matter that Titans' offense wasn't the best percentage that I've seen from them this season. Perry's shooting percentage has probably been the lowest he has had all season, but when you can make defensive stops and take a team out of their offensive stride, it doesn't matter particularly. And hopefully now they've got that game out of the way, and tomorrow their offensive performance will be better too.
Well, the London Titans are through to tomorrow's final. They've beaten the Mohawks 60 points to 56. We will have the other semi-final in half an hour's time. But for now, goodbye.